All right, let's get to work, guys. Facebook, namaste. God bless. How are all of you? What's with that pause, Jared? Happy Memorial Day, or at least washout up here in the Northeast. It was raining as hell all weekend, man. I can see the couples fighting. You got this whole big thing planned out, and everything kind of goes to hell. But hopefully, you guys are all well and enjoyed. If you had the extended weekend, make the best of it. I mean, at my store, they were shopping like crazy. So you can't have a cookout, just shop for something else. What the hell? And just kind of make a day of it. But indeed, it is Memorial Day, and we pay tribute to the million plus that gave everything. But we forget about the millions and millions of other ones as well. Even though they have their own holiday. With Veterans Day, but those guys lived through it, and to me, kudos to all of you, because we wouldn't have this platform, this country, we wouldn't have this experiment that 55 people in this stuffy room in Philadelphia put together, that is still going strong, 250 years later. But on this Monday, I'm gonna bring you guys a tearjerker today, but it makes sense. It really makes sense, because it's amazing how when you embody, and I talk about this a lot, and I had a video that I posted last night, got thousands and thousands of views. I mean, literally, thank you very much. Much love to that. That was on the America's Mentor page and the other websites as well. But people are really starting to grasp it. Yeah, there was a few meatballs in there that I had to give some, I give my wit to, because I don't care if you don't believe in it, but to come back at somebody with your non-belief, and I thought the algorithm would take care of that. You give a positive algorithm, but these keyboard critics got to come in there, and they must go searching, and I always tell people this, hurt people will hurt people, and you won't have hate in this world if you live in love. And that's kind of like what I'm going to talk about tonight, because with love for all, there would be no wars, man. There would only be peace. And believe me, I'm not a pacifist by any nature, because tyranny is rampant in some areas of the world, and it shouldn't be that way. But at the same time, when you invoke and envelop love in your system, and granted, it's actually a feeling and an emotion. So it's a complex. I mean, they can't even decipher it. They don't know if it's this or it's that, because it comes and goes, emotion. But love is all. And if you can enrobe yourself in that feeling / emotion every single day with yourself, about yourself, you indeed will become a better magnet. And these two guys, man, I gotta share this story, and hopefully it'll give you guys some a little bit of inspiration to change our ways, per se, because believe me when I tell you, love heals. Believe me, it heals. And bringing two souls together, realizing their mortality, will really, really help you think about your mortality in life as well. And I'll be happy to send the story to anyone, mind you. You just DM me. It's a long story, but it's so profound, and it really grasps it tugs at the heartstrings. But it's Memorial Day, obviously. It's National Barbecue Week for you carnivores out there. Give me some chicken and barbecue. I mean, that's friggin' heaven. It's National Vino Day for our wine buddies out there. Sour grapes to you guys. Enjoy. I'm not a wine guy. I'm a Coke with bubbles, man. I'm kind of boring with that as well. But it's also Geek Pride Day. What would we do without geeks? I consider myself an actual history geek, per se. I love history, but without, the Bill Gates and the Zuckerbergs, I mean, we wouldn't have this, because those guys are geeks. So God bless you guys. Thank you for this platform and your geekiness, if that's a word. But I have the quote box tonight. Where there is love, there is life. Gandhi. Thank you, Gandhi, for that. I mean, this is a guy. Talk about persecution. Jesus, do some history on Gandhi. Didn't matter. I mean, this guy's belief and love was so strong. Nothing could hurt him. I mean, really, on a mental plane. But this story here, I'm gonna get right to it. I've been digressing because I'm kind of giving you guys a little taste, appetizer before the dinner per se. Imagine a 24-year-old woman who is literally been told she's terminally ill. Her kidneys are failing. And they say basically you got 1 year to live if you don't get a kidney transplant. She said, "Oh, okay." And but the point being is she was not okay with that. she wanted to live, and she actually quoted that. "I just want to live." But how she quoted it was the most unique way. And I want to read. She posted a message in an online cancer support group. She goes, "I'm looking for a terminally ill. I'm going to say the precise words now. Looking for a terminally ill man with the same blood type, willing to marry her and donate his kidney." I mean, really? I mean, talk about creative. I hate it's so morbid, but at the same time, listen to the story. It's amazing. In return, she promised to care for him through his illness with everything she had, and she quoted what I already said. "I just want to live." I mean, think about it. At 24 years old, I mean, to be that ill at that, I mean, you haven't really lived life. You haven't experienced everything. And the problem with that is you've been sick for so long. And some of you who are ill, God bless you, believe me, some of you are ill actually preparing for death. But the thing is, if you prepare to live and love with that state, you'd be surprised how much it really, the body wakes up. And I'll explain more. So she posted this ad, which is great. She posted the ad, and it was responded immediately. And I'll read from subject number 2. 27-year-old man saw her message. And this guy was, and you figure 27 years old, he's already had cancer now for 10 years. Literally for 10 years. First it was I can't pronounce the actual cancer. I think it was like a form of skin cancer. It rapidly got stronger and went to this and that. He had all kinds of treatments for 10 years. Nothing worked. But he typed a very simple response to her letter. She goes, he said, "I can marry you." And which is great, because now this guy is basically, nothing has worked. He needed stem cell research and all these kind of treatments, financially ruined. His father had to sell, his older father had to sell the house just to pay for his treatment. And to me, his girlfriend left. I mean, how many of you have heard that? And the cancer returned, and he needed a bone marrow transplant. He couldn't afford it, so he basically was preparing for the end. And he said, wait, he saw this, this is my God-given gift here. I got a good kidney. But I thought about it. I said, if a guy is full of cancer, is that possible? But apparently it is, and somehow it is. To me, the story felt true in a sense, because there was a real picture of them in there. But with AI, who knows? But to me, it just shows you the power of the law of attraction, which is in action right now. She's looking for something on the same frequency as him. He's looking for something on the same frequency as her. And give or take, whether they knew it or not, the energy's connected. So finally he said, "I can marry you," which is great. And she goes on, and I'll get my glasses off for that. She goes on and say, "Look, okay, fine. We'll meet in a park and we'll discuss." The problem is, and I say it respectfully, it's a good problem. When they finally met, they started to like each other. And so you got basically two terminally ill people meeting in a park, and there was an immediate chemical connection with these people. But obviously they're both very sick. And they met in the park where the chemistry was instantaneous. They married in secret. This is another country now, mind you. Marriage is, not like the U.S. where marriage is like, hey, 5 years, I'm out, give me half. But, believe me, I'm serious. But in another country, marriage is very sacred in this country per se. So they married in secret. And they made the arrangement, they documented it, the whole 9 yards, that if, when he passes, he's going to give you, because their blood types matched. When he passes, because she had tried her family and everything, when he passes, she would receive his kidney, and in return, she would take care of his elderly father, who had tried so very hard to with the bone marrow transplant. He literally refinanced the house until they lost it. And I think it was like $90,000 in that country to do that. But basically, they've lost everything now, trying to keep him alive. So the two met in the park. They instantly hit it off. They did this marriage arrangement per se, but they would live separately, separate finances, the whole 9 yards. But the problem is they started liking each other again, and they started accompanying each other to their treatments. He would go to her dialysis. She would go to to his treatments. They would walk the corridors, and they would talk about their mortality, and they would kid about it. But the problem is, when you start falling in love with somebody, you don't start talking about your mortality. You start to talk about your future. And both of these two really got into it. They really got into what they can do with their dreams, and all their dreams really matched. And they said, wait, we're preparing to die. Why aren't we preparing to live? The thing is, he needed a bone marrow transplant. So she said, wait, I got an idea. She opens a flower stand. Literally a cart, a flower stand, and starts selling flowers, and sells enough flowers to pay for his bone marrow transplant. And the first bone marrow did not work, mind you. That this was like a toss into the wind. Gets the bone marrow transplant, everything goes in remission. He starts improving. And with her, she's on dialysis every week now. The doctor is saying, well, what's going on? You don't really need dialysis anymore. Actually, you don't even need a kidney transplant. And to me, they started getting better and better and better. And to me, actually later on, they actually opened a flower shop. They both are, one's in complete remission, and one kidney is completely healed. I mean, they call it spontaneous remission. That's bullshit. That's called love, man. And I'll give you exactly the reason why. And I asked this question on Google. You guys can ask for yourself. Can love heal you? Indeed. And immediately came up with a broad in caps. Yes, it can. It's a scientifically backed force for physical recovery, well-being, longevity, and or self-love. It shifts your nervous system into cellular regeneration instead of cellular destruction. It lowers your cortisol. It reduces inflammation in every area. But really think about it. When they stopped talking about their death and started talking about their future lives, what happened? They were already falling in love, but that just amped it up, because most importantly, it connected with them, but they became a better energy. So if you're going through something, maybe not as intense as that, all I can tell you is, man, feel the love in what's going on in your life. I mean, love is a choice, and so is misery. You have a choice every single day to grasp hold of this powerful feeling / emotion, or emotion / feeling that has the healing power to create a whole new life for you in your mental, your physical, every aspect of your life. But when you hear love stories like this, even a tearjerker like that, you say to yourself, oh, wow, that could be me. Yes, it can. And it could be the whole world if the world wanted it to be, man. But they have to grasp it. They have to cloak themselves in it. And no matter what's going on in your life, love thy neighbor as they love thyself. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to love your neighbor. That's what it boils down to. It's you taking love by the balls and saying, look, this is every part of me in my life. And start to live it. And watch how your health changes. Watch how everything changes in your life because of just grappling hold. Instead of grappling hold of your mortality in life, you realize you're a divine being. And when you start to understand the true power and the essence that who we are, you really stop, inadvertently or advertently destroying yourself with negative thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and living in the feeling of love, the loving of life, the loving of self, the loving of your opportunities, the loving of the abilities, the possibilities, and everything in your life. You start grasping that every day, your attitude changes, and that's what these two, it really changed them. Because, like I said, they stopped talking about their death and they started talking about their future. What did it do? It excited them. It brought them out of their deep, morbid thinking. And believe me when I tell you, I mean, other countries do this constantly. It's not faith-based healing. It's just an energy healing. And they've been doing it for thousands of years. But for some reason, medical science over here says, no, you need a pill. Over in the Far East especially, I mean, you have these retreats where they're medicine-free. It's all about energy. And people walk away with their tumors and walk away without tumors. This is not happenstance. This is not pseudoscience. I mean, this is physics, my friend. And if you understand the true power that you have and realize that we're just a spiritual being having a human experience, you'll take very care. You'll be very careful on what you're saying, what you're being, and what you're doing every day. So the point of America's Mentor is to prevent you from going through something like that. And what creates that? Hate, stress, all these feelings that will really ultimately destroy you, because they're already destroying you emotionally. It's just a matter of time before the physical plane catches up. Remember, this body is extremely powerful, but extremely fragile at the same time. So take care of yourself, man. Take care of yourself. Have this love of life. Respect history. Respect yourself. Respect what's going on. Know that your goals and dreams are happening, and love every moment of it as much as you can. There's going to be days where, yeah, it's going to be hard some days. Indeed, we're all the same, man. If you cut us open, we're all the same. Same meat soup. Same amount of atoms and everything. But the point being is, it's how we think and how we feel about ourselves every single day that'll really determine our pathway in life. So really think about it. I'll leave you with this from Marcus Aurelius. And this is something that I practice every day. He said, when you arise in the morning, think of what precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Grasp that for yourself, guys, on this Memorial Day. Pay tribute in the peace of your mind to those souls who gave us the freedom out there to express ourselves. And that's why we're here, to express ourselves in this lifetime. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your Monday, guys. America's Mentor _radio on Instagram. Kind of humble, wasn't that? Guys, grab your tissue. At America's Mentor on Twitter. Yeah, that's why do I keep saying Twitter? It's X, man. They call it X-rated for a reason. Yeah, I get it. I dig it. Why am I posting there on that and Threads and all that other shit? YouTube especially. Much love. Hashtag Jerry Maldonado on YouTube. And Jerry Maldonado on TikTok. At America's Mentor. Thank you. Much love to TikTok. They've been really checking out my videos, guys. Enjoy your Monday. Love yourself. Be yourself. And you'll create the most amazing life for yourself. Enjoy your Monday. Slow connection.